Hi everybody, welcome to G for G here on YouTube. Today we're going to be taking a look at DC Legends. We're going to discuss some of the Christmas stuff and kind of how my team is going on in the game. And just have like an open discussion about the game and how I'm feeling about it. How are you guys feeling about it? What teams do you use? And so on and so forth. So, first things first, I have to give you guys a basis of comparison as to where DC Legends is for me. For one, a lot of people kind of thought maybe Warner Brothers was coming out with the big replacement for Marvel Avengers Alliance when it died. And this was to take over the niche that that game had. To be clear, that's not true. This game was in development concurrent to Marvel Avengers Alliance being alive, and was playable in certain world regions almost exactly a year ago. I believe it was available to people right around the time that Marvel Avengers Alliance 2 was available to people in other countries and everything. So people have been playing this game either via the APK for Android or the IPA for iOS devices for a while before it saw its release, which I believe was November. So to be clear, this is not in response to Marvel Avengers Alliance dying. So don't think that way. Don't think this is Burger King all of a sudden selling a Big Mac product because McDonald's has died. That's not true. That being said, when it comes to mobile games for me now, I call them, and always have, side games. Main games to me are PC games and console games. Stationary console games, Xbox, PlayStation, so on. Side games I consider to be mobile games and Facebook games. Right now, I have about 4 tiers of side games. The first place by a long shot, and alone in first place, Marvel Future Fight. That game ran concurrent to Marvel Avengers Alliance for me, as did Contest of Champions. I built up many tens of thousands of energy during that time period. When it was not a primary side game, I built up millions of gold. It was a very big side game for me, but mostly just kind of siphoning up free gifts and dailies and everything like that. If you look at my early videos on Marvel Future Fight and some of my screenshots, I had tens of thousands of energy and gold. That's not the case anymore. I've actually even had to refill energy somewhat recently because I've like dipped below my cap. It used to be you'd see like 12,000 energy out of 80. Like that's what I would have. It's different now because I've put a lot of work into Marvel Future Fight. My apologies to whoever it was that I said on Facebook. I don't remember if it was Twig or Tico. They had said, "Oh, wow, you know, Marvel Future Fight is so complicated compared to MAA." I was like, "Dude, no, it's not." I apologize for that. I think at the upper echelons of Marvel Future Fight, it is a very, very complex game with a lot to do. And a lot of, like, there's what you could do as a noob, and then what you could do as a high-level person is very different. There's a very big gap. So I apologize for calling Marvel Future Fight less complicated than MAA1. I think now it is definitely not. You've got world bosses, you've got alliance battles, you've got extreme alliance battles, the Asgardian stuff, the Doctor Strange stuff, Dark Dimensions, co-op, new Asgardian invasions with bosses, Dimension Rift, double world boss. I mean, it's crazy. And you can spend both a lot of money and a lot of time in Marvel Future Fight. So that is number one, first place for me. Then there is kind of this plug up of second place games, and that is DC Legends, Oz the Broken Kingdom, and Iron Maiden Legacy of the Beast. DC is edging out ever so slightly in that second place pack over there. It's leading a little bit. And I just discovered today that when I was not doing all of my dailies because I was skipping PvP, that I was losing out on 50 gold nuggets a day by not completing it. Now I suddenly am kicking myself in the ass for it. So win, lose, or draw, I'm now definitely going to be making sure that I include PvP in my daily, even if I lose. What happened was I ran my last table of PvPers out. And then I got a new set. And I was seeing these 6,000 and 9,000 power teams. And I was like, oh, fuck that. I can't win. Chances are I was just picking people like, I think this guy, Gibraldi. Yeah, like this guy over here. And I was getting disheartened and I just gave up. Excuse me. But I found people like this battle here. One of these two. I think it's this guy, user 628. His heroes, his enemy power was 2,000. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's a steamroll there. And this other guy, he had more power than me, but I went in with a much better affinity. And I only lost one hero and I wiped his team. So I was selling my PvP powers short. Because I really don't care about PvP in this game. Because I don't care about this game in the way that I did MAA 2 and 1. So like this. I was seeing this now. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be a waste. Why even bother? But, you know, now that I know that every day I can add 50 to quote-unquote gold, then that's really what I should be doing. And my battle log is mostly losses, but there's some wins in here. Has anybody yet discovered what defines your defensive team in PvP? Is it, like, here are some things that I think it might be. Is it somebody who is in your number one slot? Which, honestly, this isn't awful if this was my defending team. Or is it somebody that you last PvP'd with? Which, in this case, would be this team. So, has anybody determined what that is yet? Has anybody run experiments or discovered who defends for you in PvP? I'd be curious. Because, like, Marvel Avengers Alliance 2, it was whatever was your last team that went in. And that was so that you couldn't put a garbage team in for people to get easy wins, knowing that you weren't going to get knocked down. If you achieved a rank, you stayed at that rank unless your offense lost you. So, you know, dailies are now do a timed event, collect essences, do some heroics, do 10 any missions, level up heroes, and level up their gear. Fortunately, unlike Oz, one of the dailies is not to spend. That's something I kind of dislike about Oz, is that one of the dailies in there is to spend, well, it's to use your coins, but to have the kind of income to get 5 coins a day to count for the daily is a little bit much, but I find it pretty cool that you don't have to spend for this in your daily. Some advice for timed events: do what you can to 3-star at least one of these in just about everything you can, because when they come back again on their rotation, they will be available to Speed Force. So even if I didn't get this 3-star this time around, but some other time in the past, it stays cleared and I can just Speed Force it in the future for quick, easy materials. This one I did do today, and I lost, I think, Zatanna right at the very end, which is why it's not 3-starred. But it was very close. And, like, you know, for all of these, do what you can to just at least get one 3-star in there. Now, some of them are super tough, even at the first level. Maybe it's Lords of the Unliving. I don't remember, but some of these at the first level are just, like, ridiculous. So, in the shop, we have, for today, 7 swamp things of swimming. 5, whoever that'll be. I skipped right over 6, I know. But, so we've been counting down the 12 days of Christmas in the game. Some of these have been okay, some of them have not. I think the Swamp Thing one is not particularly awful. So I mathed this one out for you guys. It takes 4 purchases of him to just unlock him. If you're starting from 0, 4 clicks of this unlocks him at 2 stars. You'll have 28 out of 25 hero fragments. So you'll have the 25 to unlock and then 3 extra. If you want to get him the 3-star, it is 8 clicks of this. And, of course, you will have 56 out of 50. Because it's 25 to unlock him, 25 to 3-star him. Ironically enough, if you look under currencies, this 2200 gems is all you need to 3-star Swamp Thing from 0. So, for 10 bucks to get a 3-star hero, I don't think it's particularly awful. I don't know if he's good. I don't know if he's bad. I don't know if he's worth directly 10 bucks. Maybe he is, but at 3 stars, you will have his 2-star unlocks, which are Box Sports, Force of Nature, and Verdant Coffin. You have to 4-star him to get Forever Green. So what does he have? Damage to an enemy, apply 1 men to a random ally, similar to the shield from Green Lantern, random to an ally. Apply 1 strength down to all enemies. Not bad to counter Liberty Maid, Wonder Woman's. Verdant Coffin, special damage and apply enrage to an enemy. So, Sinestro has this, but when Sinestro uses it, it doesn't cause damage. I actually think this seems to be a pretty good kit. He's got self-sustain with amend that may or may not hit him, but clearly he shouldn't be a main healer. So he's a backup to Zatanna. He can counter Wonder Woman's buffs, and if not, just lower their damage, and even do some damage if you upgrade it. And he can turn off their special abilities, locking them out to just their level 1s. And cause damage from it. Whereas, if we take a look at Sinestro, and we look at his sphere itself, it's turn meters, but it's not damage. So sometimes you're like, I don't really want to use this, I just want to put the person down. Not bad. I think he compliments people, so maybe he is going to be worth 3-starring for 10 bucks. I unlocked him, but I didn't attempt to get him at his 3 stars. So, some of these have been okay for Christmas. Some of them have been a little expensive and not really worth it. I want to go through my roster, get input from you guys on like who you're really liking right now, and are you a quantity person or are you a quality person? So, DC is one of those games you could either go quantity and just like try to unlock as many people as possible and then eventually get into a groove of who you want to play with and who you enjoy. Or it's a quality game where you focus really on 5 or 6 people, dump all your resources in them, and have this really, really beefy but tight team, and you may run into that wall of, oh, this is how you beat this guy, you gotta bring like chemo into it, he does this, and that's how you beat him. You're like, shit, well, I don't have chemo, I have this other person instead. So you can definitely go one of 2 ways, or just do the gotta catch them all and then beef everybody up and have amazing legendary rosters. Here's my team. In a previous video, I was like, why are they pushing Harley Quinn so much? She's been several login rewards, she's been a PvP. I kind of understand why. I think she's pretty good. I really like this Harley Quinn. Love Hate, I think, does a ton of damage. Distract and Destroy occasionally does not bring people in. A lot of people have complained that they've gone on major droughts where nobody jumps in on Distract and Destroy, but I felt that for a little bit. Now I feel like it's getting better again. I think she's pulled more people in with this attack recently, and her dry spell is a little bit over. I like her. I think she does a lot of damage, especially out of Love and Hate, and I think she's got a decent kit. Deadshot was somebody who was very popular with me for a long time. He's faded a tiny bit lately. I do kind of like him in PvP. I like going into aim down sights, into a bounty shot. But what I find more often than not is I think the bounty shot is going to wind up getting the kill, and then it leaves somebody alive with like 10 hit points, and I don't get the ability reset over there. Liberty Maid, aka Wonder Woman, aka pre-registration Wonder Woman. So a lot of people, for her, she was bugged when you got her. You got her twice, which enabled people to get her a 3-star and then immediately bump her up to 4-star. I was one of those people who got lucky and bumped her up, you know, got her and then bumped her up. Some people got super lucky and got her to 4 stars right at the beginning, or excuse me, like 5 stars. I think I heard some people doing that. Other people were not lucky at all, and they just got her at her regular installation setup of, I think, just 3 stars. She's in my PvP. She's in a decent amount of my PvE when I need to run that which blue was strong against, which is not... Let's see. Green is anti-red. So whatever blue is strong against, I run her a lot. I like her strength up. I think her AoE is pretty solid. Says it can't miss. And I never see 10% chance to call assist. I never see that proc. However, her riposte has procced a lot for me today. I mean, I would say like 75% of the attacks that have hit her, she's countered just today. So she seems to be on a tear with that lately. Zatanna is my American Express card. If you were alive in the 80s and 90s, you know the American Express card motto is don't leave home without it. I don't leave home without Zatanna. She's in my PvE teams for heals, and she's in my PvP teams. A lot of people used to say PvP was the battle of who could kill Zatanna first. I don't see her as much on enemy teams in PvP anymore, but she's always in for me. She's always healing people with stacked deck. She can remove buffs on hat trick, and it does damage. She's around for me a lot, and if I do get up to 3 essences, I think I could very well put it into hat trick. That's tough. I like her. I think she does a lot of work for me, and I'm definitely trying to continue farming her essences to get her up to a very necessary 3-star. She's a clear linchpin and workhorse for me. Bane, I really enjoyed for a little bit. I don't recall if I brought him out into PvP. I do like Venom Injector's men's to keep himself a little bit steady and a little bit of sustain over there. Backbreaker, I do enjoy it when it unlocks. He was really popular with me for a little bit, and he just kind of fell off lately. Mostly due to 2 reasons, and that's coming up. Sinestro, he's been with me from the beginning. Major workhorse. Big damage on Sinestro's might. Really like bone saws. I do like Fear itself as a situational thing of, don't do that. But it doesn't cause damage. So, it's a little bit of a risk. Again, major candidate for an upgrade when I get 2 more to knock the turn meter down a little bit when being used. Good if you think a heal is coming or a shield. He's done a lot for me in PvE and PvP. He is with me quite frequently. My new love is these two together, Chemo and Cheetah. This is one of those synergy teams a lot of people talk about and a lot of people like. I'm surprised the debuff he causes is a bleed. Everything about him screams some kind of toxin or poison or radiation. They call it a bleed. Fine. Green goop in a suit with bubbles like Mountain Dew. Fine. We'll call it a bleed. Mountain Dew will bleed you. Do the do. Get bled. He's really come on for me. I really enjoy Chemo on my team, especially now with Cheetah. Opening up on a fresh wave or PvP with Toxic Spill is very good. Chemtrail, causing meds. I have thrown Chemtrail at people that I didn't think I was going to kill them, and they're just gone. Like, they don't, like, death animate. Like, they're just deleted as if it was an insta-gib. As if there was some, like, hidden, random insta-gib on Chemtrail that's just, like, sudden death bang. People just disappear like they are melted by the blob from that 80s movie, which is a remake of, what, a 50s movie or 60s movie? They're just gone. He shocked me at how much I enjoy him. People call him slow not because he's slow to build up and what he needs to do. He's slow in his just turn order. He's actually relatively quick in terms of in the match. Toxic Spill into a Chemtrail. Not bad, but he is a little slow in combat. Fallout, I admit, I haven't really gotten to use yet. Every time Fallout comes up, there's only one person left. I'm like, oh, I want to save this for a fresh wave. Then that fresh wave happens, and I got to get the bleeds again, and I just don't ever get to really use Fallout. I really like his synergy with Cheetah, and I am pushing to get Cheetah up to 2 as quick as I can. Swift Slash causes a permanent bleed, and Ravage has a cooldown reduction if she hits somebody who's bleeding. Ooh, yeah, alright, so, let's see, damage. This is a hard-hitting ability. You are worth that essence. I like it. Not quite as strong as Deadshot or Harley Quinn, but it's still pretty good. And Blood in the Air, strength up to allies, and an extra a chance. That's going to be killer. Might completely replace Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman's 4 stars. It's going to be hard for me to replace her. I like these two together. They do PvE for me, and they've now begun to do PvP for me. I enjoy it. Flash was pretty big for me in the beginning. He's fallen off. He used to be out in PvP with me. Not anymore. I run into a lot of Flash on defense. Whatever. He's old news for me. He was never news for me. Green Arrow, he sat at the bottom of the barrel for so long. He had like 800 power, and he was 1 star. I just recently 2-starred him, and I dumped him a little bit of level love. I just don't really use him. I do run into a lot of defensive Green Arrows, and he opens up all the time with Storm of Arrows. All the time. Honestly, plus 40% critical hit chance is not bad. You could probably make a case that I should use Green Arrow more. I just don't really care for him. Lex Luthor is somewhat new to me. I believe I got him through one of the early days of the Christmas sales, I think. 12 Luthors Leaping or whatever. Or 11 Luthors Leaping. I don't remember. I really haven't gotten to use him yet, although he doesn't look awful. Damage to an enemy, purging buffs. That sounds good. Means maybe Zatanna doesn't have to waste a turn doing it. Apply 1 speed up to all allies and an extra speed up to Lex. Medium heal if all allies are above health. So perhaps if Zaytan is keeping people healthy, he's assisting, and maybe he can even speed up chemo to be decent. And special damage, negative 40% turn meter on an enemy. Sounds great to me. Giving him a bit of a stud. I haven't really used him yet. I have a feeling it'd be decent. Rocketeer over here, Sorcerer of Naboo. I forgot how I grabbed him. Maybe it was one of those, like, random essency packs. I think he has good synergy with Green Lantern because he shields the team, which means Green Lantern doesn't have to worry about wasting a turn to shield himself so that he could use his heavy-hitting stun move. I kind of used him a little bit when I first got him to try him, and I just kind of shelled him. This Joker, first of all, fuck Jared Leto's Joker. I think he's the most off. I still have yet to see Suicide Squad, but I think this is the worst representation of the Joker out of all of them. I mean, when you have the greats like Nicholson and Heath and Mark Hamill doing voiceovers, then we have this version of him from Jared Leto. Just whatever. Get fucked. I unlocked him. I threw him some love, and I was really sad to see his power was so low at level 17. Admittedly, I haven't tried him. I did run into one on PvP on defense from that team that I told you I steamrolled that had like 2,000 power. I don't know if he's good or not. Green Lantern was a mainstay for me. He just fell off recently. I like going Strength of Will as soon as I can, and then using Hammer Time to stun somebody. And I think Hammer Time did pretty good damage for me. But he just sort of fell off. I think if I kept him up to date with his levels, he'd still be pretty decent. I don't really dislike him. He just kind of got replaced by people I like more. Nuclear Dude over here, or Firelord from Marvel, the old Herald for Galactus, prior to Silver Surfer. Firestorm over here. I mean, really, does he not look like Firelord, the old Herald for Galactus? I mean, give this guy a staff in his hands, and it's fucking Firelord. But he's somebody that I unlocked recently, not through that big 8,000 gem purchasey thing. I haven't used him yet. He might be good. I don't really know. I just haven't tested him out yet. Because I need to put together like a low-level team and bring them into low-level stuff, see what I like. Swamp Thing we talked about, and I just never used... I use this Batman occasionally when I needed people that like Red was strong against. But not really, and like Raven I've never used. She maybe came into 1 or 2 combats with me. I don't even remember if the single target healing was good or not. Zatanna, I mean, she just carries my healing duties, and, you know, Chemo with a self-heal, and Bane with a self-heal and everything. So, my cutoff line for, like, what is my mains, it runs under this bottom row, comes up between Sinestro and Flash, and, like, hooks up and goes over Cheetah. You might say, how is Cheetah level 1 one of your favorites? I like her synergy with Chemo. If it wasn't for Chemo, I would probably wait to enjoy her a little bit until she got level more. But honestly, the Swift / Ravage combos and everything, I'm impressed. She impresses me. And Bane used to be a little bit strong with me. He's fallen off a bit. But if there's anybody here that I have that, like, you're like, dude, no, you really need to level this guy and play him. He's awesome. Let me know. And if there's anybody here that you're like, oh, wow, I never thought of those two together, and I sparked an idea for you, let's start a discussion down below. What do you think? I totally admit I am like a hoarder when it comes to the level ups, because look at all the grays that I have. I absolutely could have blaster fucking teams if I really dumped all of these. I mean, especially, look at these level 2s. The gray level 2s over there. I mean, I could go just balls out on somebody and have a mega character if I decided to dump those. For some reason, I just never pull the trigger and do it. Let's for example, let's try Chemo here. So, I mean, wow, 223. I can max level him easily and have so much left over if I wanted to, but clearly I don't want to do that. So let's use 8. Let's see what it does to. Yeah, that brings his power up pretty nice. It's funny, they don't have a speed stat, yet there is clearly speed in PvP. Stamina's pretty good. This should be good hit points. Yeah, I mean, clearly, if it's going to be 223 to max level some, I could level, you know, 4 or 5 heroes over here with that. And now he's, wow, he's pretty much become my number 2 hero. Yeah, maybe I should be a little less hoarderish on my grays and get people bumped up, and this way when I see my 6,000 and 9,000 PvP people, I don't have to fear them as much. But yeah, try to do your dailies every single day. I think a bunch of them are super easy to do, other than maybe timed events and your PvP. But to get 50 crystals a day is nothing to shake a stick at. I mean, I think it's definitely worthy. And let's see, I have 405. Let's get a big arena pack. I mean, this is the biggest cost, so it's not like you could save up for much more than this. Let's get one of them and see what I get. Hey, is that Canary? Oh, that's Huntress. Ow, wow. Huntress only needs 2 more. But she's a common. Let's see if Huntress would be any good if I actually ever unlocked her. I don't know that much about the DC universe, so... Oh, alright. Merciless Shot. Crit chance if the target's below 50% health. That's pretty cool. Bird of Prey. Gain 3 evasion ups. Heavy damage to an enemy. Plus 100% damage if an enemy is already dead. Is she a good person? That sounds like what some of the evil ones have done. Pursues her vendetta against criminals. Yeah, she's good. Some of the villains have had the abilities. So, yeah, if I do unlock her, she might be somewhat decent. So, you got any comments? Let me know below. See you guys. Take care. Hope you enjoyed the video.